Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me as we begin this series. We're going to go over an outline of esoteric science by Rudolf Steiner. This is the book here, and it is considered a classic in anthroposophy, and it's from steinerbooks.org, Anthroposophic Press. But the cool thing about this book is it's very thick. It's over 400 pages, and most of Rudolf Steiner's books are around 250 pages or so. So this is one of the bigger ones with more content. And it says on the back, esoteric science is the science of what takes place esoterically, in the sense that it is perceived not outside in nature, but where one's soul turns when it directs its inner being toward the spirit. Esoteric science is the opposite and counterpart of natural science, Rudolf Steiner. And the masterwork of esotericism placed humankind at the very heart of the vast invisible processes of cosmic evolution. And it goes on, but we'll begin. So that's what I'm going to go over with you guys. And we'll go over it chapter by chapter. So we're going to begin with chapter 1, which is the character of esoteric science. And it talks about the scientific method, which we use the scientific method in spiritual science. So the term esoteric science is used to describe the information being taught here. Rudolf Steiner goes on to explain how we have a system of spiritual knowledge that is a science, as it uses what is known as the scientific method, which is the system used in modern science today. So we're going to move into chapter 2, which is the makeup of the human being. And it's not presented like this in the book. This makes it much easier for everybody here. So basically, memory comes from what's known as the I, which is a higher part of our being. I'll explain it more as we move forward. And the I, another term for the I is, in religion, is known as the ineffable name of God. Consciousness comes from the astral body. Now, the astral body is also known as the soul, or the soul body. So when you think of your soul, that's actually in spiritual science, that's your astral body. And then life, or life force, comes from the ether body. And so I'm going to present the difference between the mineral, the plant, the animal, and the human on this chart here. It makes it easy. So you know the mineral has a physical body, and that would be like a stone, right? A plant, though, has more than a physical body. It's alive, right? So it also has an ether body. An animal is one step higher than a plant. An animal, in addition to a physical body and an ether body, it also has an astral body. Now, this is the reason why Rosicrucians, for example, don't eat meat. They're vegetarians, unless they have some sort of a health reason why they need meat. They don't eat meat. They avoid it strictly. And the reason why is because animals have an astral body, and when you consume meat, the flesh of another animal, you're taking in astral substance. And astral substance is very harmful spiritually. So, and then, of course, the human is one step higher than the animal. The human, in addition to a physical and etheric body, has the astral body and then the I. And the I, of course, is where we get our memory. And Rudolf Steiner explains all about how animals don't actually have memory. And he breaks it down and explains how it seems like they might, like when you train a dog, but it's not actually memory that they're going off of. But I'm not going to get into that now. So God dwells within every human. We connect to God by going within. That's why in the Bible, John 10, verse 34 says, "And Jesus answered them, Is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods?" And now Rudolf Steiner called it the I capital. I also refers to, I like to also personally refer to it as the I core or I self. Um, and of course, in religion, it is referred to as the ineffable name of God. So now we're going to move into the three parts of the soul, which is the consciousness soul, the mind soul, and the sentient soul. And then I made another chart here for you. So we'll start at the top of the chart: body, spirit, and soul. And so, of course, the parts of the body are the astral body, the etheric, and the physical. The parts of the spirit are the spirit body, the life spirit, and the spirit self. And the part of the soul is the sentient soul, the mind soul, which is linked to the I, or another, you can actually, Steiner says you can actually, it's like another term for the I, and then the consciousness soul. Now, the consciousness soul is linked to the spirit self, and the astral body is linked to the sentient soul. And so in time, through spiritual development, the I transforms the astral body into a higher form known as the spirit self, or manas in Eastern traditions. And the I transforms the etheric body into a higher form known as the life spirit, or buddhi in Eastern traditions. And then the I transforms the physical body into a higher form known as the spirit body, or atma in Eastern wisdom traditions. And atma is Atma, atma. Now, of course, this doesn't happen automatically. This is referring to someone who's developing spiritually. And so there's actually 9 parts, but the astral body and the sentient soul form a unity, as do the spirit self and consciousness soul. So we will subtract 2 from 9, which equals 7. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We combine these 2, right? And we combine these 2. So we're going to subtract 2, and that'll give us 7. Okay, so now we're going to look at the 7 components of the human being, and I put it like this to make it simple. So first you have the physical body, 2 you have the ether or life body, 3 the astral body, 4 the I or the I capital, 5 the spirit self, 6 life spirit, and then 7 spirit body. Those are the 7 components of the human being. Chapter 3, sleep and death. And we're not going to finish chapter 3 today. It's a really long chapter, so what we'll do is we'll move partially through 3, and then I'll continue 3 next, either in a week or 2. So when we go to sleep, the physical body and the ether body stay in the bed, but the astral body and the ego leave the physical and etheric bodies to travel the astral plane, or the astral world, which extends beyond Earth out into space. And the astral world is a soul world and a spirit world, non-physical. Steiner calls the I capital the ego as well, not to be confused with egotistical. And there is a silver cord. The book, I don't think, gets into this, but there's a silver cord that connects the physical body to the astral body through the belly button, kind of like an umbilical cord, which allows the astral body to quickly return to the physical body. The astral body returns home during sleep and brings home to its world and brings renewed forces back into our life when we awaken. The etheric or ether body is the sculptor or architect of the physical body. The images in dreams are symbolic. For example, a person dreams that they have grabbed some monster that's bothering them by the neck, only to wake up clutching the blanket in an attempt to pull it down because you're getting hot. The monster represents the blanket that's making the person sweat. During dreams, the astral body is outside the physical body, but still connected to the ether body. And when the astral body leaves both the physical and ether body, what happens is dreamless sleep occurs. Rudolf Steiner says we are normally only dreaming for a few seconds. The dream seems to last a long time because we are not bound by time and space when we're in that state. And it seems like a very long time to us while we're dreaming, when in fact, in this world, in the physical world, it's just a few seconds. Next, we're going to talk about the after-death purification, which is also referred to as the life review or purgatory in the Catholic Church. And so at death, the ether body leaves the physical body, which causes death. The ether body is the life body that sustains life in the physical body. Without the ether body, the physical body is a dead corpse, and the corpse disintegrates. At death, the astral body leaves the physical body and remains connected to the ether body for a short time, several days or so, but it varies. This is a period of time many traditions agree on, where a person sees a panoramic view of the life they just lived. And the Catholic Church, of course, acknowledges this state and refers to it as purgatory. I put P-E-R, but I believe it's actually P-U-R, purgatory. Sorry about that. So this is a process of purification by what Steiner calls the consuming fire. During this first phase after death, the person goes through this sort of purgatory or purification, where the person sees the life they just lived play before them in reverse order, beginning with just prior to death, going in reverse order, all the way back to birth. During this purification, the person feels all the pain and hurt that they caused others. So after death, there are eventually three corpses: the physical, the etheric, and the astral. People who lived materialistic lives discard the astral body at the end of the purification or life review. But those who develop spiritually during their life have a more advanced astral body that actually is able to continue on along the journey. And I added something else to the whiteboard here. The eye is the center point of consciousness. And this leaves you with only the highest part of your core being, your eye, like the letter I, not the word E-Y-E. And for the eye, a totally new state of consciousness begins after purification. So before death, we experienced an outer world, but now a new inner world reveals itself. Here, Rudolf Steiner refers to it as the land of spirits. In other work, Steiner explains that the land of spirits is also referred to as Devachan. This is a world of radiant colors and tones or sounds. But we're going to, as the book explains, though, there's also water, land masses, and stuff like that, but it's of a spiritual nature, not a physical nature. During life, the ether body can partially separate from the physical body briefly. It's known as muscles or limbs falling asleep. If you ever had an arm fall asleep, it's very uncomfortable. The arm is basically dead or has paralysis. You can't move it for a brief time. I had to pick my arm up, the arm that fell asleep. I had to pick it up with my other arm. And then some people might shake it or rub it to try to wake it back up. And you can feel the ether body returning to the arm. And then the arm is no longer asleep and you can move it again. So that's an example of when the ether body has partially moved out of the physical body, and the part that it moved out of is the part that fell asleep. On the other hand, if someone experiences shock from an accident, for example, and the shock causes the connection between the astral body and the ether body to separate, then loss of consciousness occurs, just like during dreamless sleep. And this is going to move us into the last part for today. And I'm going to talk briefly about how important it is to guard your desires. Very important to guard your desires during this lifetime. Because after death, when the astral body separates from the ether body, the astral body continues on its journey without the ether body. Now another world lights up for the soul or astral body. Rudolf Steiner warns about the things that we desire. Your desire should be for things that are spiritual and not physical, because the desires persist after death, and physical desires can't be fulfilled after death. The Steiner says it's like someone who wants water really, really bad, but they live in a world now where there's no water around for them to drink, so they are tormented by the desire. All physical addictions and desires must be overcome prior to death to avoid this desire torture. Instead, desire spiritual development, Christ, love, stuff like that. And what we're going to do is we'll continue in a week or two, probably in 1 week. I hope you'll join me then. Thanks for watching.